So today I want to talk about my long-term review of using an iPad Pro or any iPad as my main video and photography editing machine. So if you haven't seen before, I did a video that I will leave somewhere around here when I first got the iPad and talking about wanting to use it as my primary video and photo editing machine. The reason why I wanted to do it was I like being portable and being able to work anywhere that I feel like working. So whether it's here in the basement or upstairs at the couch, at my kids' karate practice, or even at a coffee shop, wherever, I just want to be able to open up a device and start editing on a video or pictures. And so the iPad Pro 2017 was the device that I decided to use. Here it is. I got the 9.7-inch iPad. Again, watch that video if you want to see like all the reasons why I got it. So to answer the question, is this device still relevant in 2020 for what the work I want to do? 100% yes. It does everything I wanted to do. It still edits 4K video perfectly fine, and it edits full frame RAW files perfectly fine. If that's all you wanted to hear and you don't want to hear any my experience with it, that's all you need to watch. I have links down below for the iPad, the accessories I've used with it, my camera setup, all that good stuff. So you can stop watching from here. Now, if you want to hear my experience with it, I'll talk about that a little bit more. The iPad has really changed the way that I edit pictures and video. It really frees me up from being stuck at a desk or even a laptop to being able to really work wherever I want. And yes, you could do this with a laptop, but you do sacrifice battery life with versus an iPad versus a laptop. There are some people who, this iPad lifestyle doesn't work for them, and I 100% understand that. It's not for everybody, but it does work for me. I am using a desktop in the back end for there are some times where if I want to merge like a panoramic together, unfortunately it doesn't. You can do that on the iPad, but the apps I've used aren't that great, and you can do it natively on the desktop version of Lightroom or even Photoshop, so it's easy to do it that way. So the apps I use the most are LumaFusion for video editing, Lightroom, and Photoshop for photo editing. I do use Snapseed and VSCO also, but Lightroom and Photoshop are primarily the two image editors that I use to get things done with. Now, I have used Affinity Photo. I do like it, so if you are someone who doesn't want to pay a subscription fee like you do with having to use like the Adobe products, I 100% understand. You could use Affinity Photo. LumaFusion doesn't have a subscription. Snapseed, you could use that and you're good to go. You don't ever have to pay a subscription. You buy all your apps up front and you're good. For me though, I use Lightroom. I've been using it since day one, so I have almost 100,000 pictures synced, or 100,000 pictures in my Lightroom catalog. I don't have all that synced with the iPad. I am planning on doing a workflow video for my iPad for photography and video. So this is just really high level of how I use it, but I will go into more detail with that other workflow video. But overall, for me, the iPad has really changed the way that I edit pictures and videos. Being able to use the Apple Pencil, and again, you can do this with any iPad that supports an Apple Pencil. It doesn't have to be an iPad Pro. And I'll talk about some of the cons with the iPad Pro that I got, but having that Apple Pencil and being able to manipulate the picture on the screen is so much different than using a mouse for me. And again, all this is for me. Like, I'm not saying my way is the right way, or using a mouse is not the right way. Find whatever works for you and go with it. You don't have to worry about what one person does versus what another person does. Do you. Like I said before, having the Apple Pencil is probably the key to all this, because I was using an iPad Air 2 for a long time. I was using my finger and it was okay, but having that pencil, you just have a little bit more control and refinement over your movements that you're doing on screen. So LumaFusion has been my video editor of choice. It lets me use LUTs if I'm shooting in a uncompressed RAW format for video. You can have multiple layers for audio and for video. You can really dive in and you can use it like it's a professional video editor. Of course, there are some limitations to it because it's on an iPad, but it's still really good. And for 90% of what people are going to do to edit their videos, this is a great app, especially if you're a prosumer. So you're not a professional, like high-end professional. I'm not a high-end professional. The work that I do is usually with small, mid-sized businesses, and it's a lot of sit-down interview type video work. So for me, it's easy to edit it on an iPad. Yes, I can use Premiere or Final Cut, but I prefer to use LumaFusion, and it works very well for me. And then, like I said before, I use Lightroom. Everything goes into Lightroom on my iPad, syncs to the computer, so if there are things I need to do on the computer that I can't do on an iPad, I can hop onto my computer, make those edits, and they sync back over to the iPad, and then I'm able to roll with it. Now, do I think the 2017 iPad is still worth it? 100% yes. It is a great, powerful machine. I will say, if you're looking to get something to travel with and, you know, take with you like on an everyday carry, I would probably say get the I think it's the 11-inch iPad or the 10.5-inch iPad Pro. That one is a little bit more manageable than this behemoth here, the iPad 12.9-inch. It is really big, and taking it with you it's pretty heavy in a backpack, much more noticeably heavier than my Chromebook that I use sometimes. And so, especially if you put the Bridge keyboard on there, you have a very heavy machine. The the older 10.5-inch iPad Pro, or even the new iPad Air, which is 10.5 inches, those are much lighter devices, and I would highly recommend those over the 12.9-inch. So whenever people ask me which iPad Pro they should get, I always start with the smaller one, just because it's much more manageable than the bigger one. That's the only con I have with this iPad. It still has a lightning adapter on here, which is fine because my iPhone 7 Plus has a lightning adapter. So I have one cable that I can use between both iPad and iPhone to charge my devices. In the workflow video, I'll show you how I get pictures on and off, or even video on and off the iPad and all that good stuff. Overall, I am very happy with the 2017 iPad Pro because Apple does do a good job of supporting their devices for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if this iPad works for another 3 to 4 years. There might be times where apps will start to slow down on the iPad and you won't be able to take full advantage of some of the newer hardware, like newer cameras or things like that. But for my setup with the Panasonic G9 and the Sony A7 II, it works perfectly fine. If you like this content, please hit the like button down below, subscribe to the channel. It does help me out, helps me get seen. If you do like this video and you wanted to support the channel, if you buy anything from Amazon, I have links down below, so where you can, if you buy something off there, I get a small commission. I know you've heard the spiel before, but it does help keep an ad-free small channel like myself ad-free. I don't like ads, and I don't want to put ads on my channel either. Also, if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, you don't want to buy anything, I have a link down below, down there also, because I like coffee. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.